We are taking a live look at our interactive Storm Tracker 2 radar right now, where you can see looks like snow and even rain moving through our region.
That's right, and it looks like it's moving through pretty quickly. Now, earlier this morning, it was a little dicey out there, but things seem to be slowing down just a little bit.
Well, hey there. Good morning. Glad to have you here with us on this Thursday.
Friday Eve.
So much closer to the weekend. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Now let's get right out to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. He's in the Outdoor Weather Center this morning. And Jeremy, looks like the sun is starting to come up.
It's trying. It's definitely trying out here. But get this. I'm standing out here and I can see Browns Bluff just off in the distance here on the South Hill. So for me, it was rain all morning. Rain kind of sticking everywhere. But I look up there and the tops of the houses have a little bit of a light coating of snow. Another weird spot for me, that's downtown Coeur d'Alene. Right there, no snow. Look, it's wet and those cars are moving along just fine. But we got a viewer photo and the viewer said, I live in downtown Coeur d'Alene, and they had snow in their yard. So it was a pretty interesting one early on this morning when it came to some of that snow. I went, well, I referenced the downtown cam when I talk about Coeur d'Alene. They went, but it's not all the same. And I went, oh, touche. So temperatures hovering pretty close to freezing early on this morning, already getting above it in places like Deer Park and Spokane. So really everything that fell is going to melt rather quickly. And we didn't really get much, so it continues to melt as fast as it fell, basically. It's winding down now. You can see just the past hour, a big change in how much moisture we're seeing in the atmosphere. But this is the one I find most interesting, the past half hour. Watch this. Past half hour, it just basically goes from we're getting snow to just nothing, and you can kind of pick out some of those higher elevation areas where we do still have some of those lingering snow showers, and that's just because of the orographic lift created by some of those mountains. Pretty neat. But here we go. Let's take you into the afternoon because this is where it gets more interesting. We've got rain moving in tonight, hits after dark, I think 6:37, continues through tomorrow, and we're talking some heavy rain at that. I'll let you know how much we get coming up in the full forecast.
Well, get ready for some extra slippery and wet roads this winter.
Between staffing shortages and losing employees to the vaccine mandate, Washington State Department of Transportation worried about staffing this season.
So KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez is joining us now to explain what drivers should expect out on the roads. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Channing, Tim. So WashDOT is specifically responsible for plowing our highways and our freeways. So when a big snowstorm hits, their main priority is I-90, which you can see flowing right behind me. You see that on your screen right there. But WashDOT says as winter comes that they are going to be plowing more slowly when these storms hit. As winter is coming, the specific eastern Washington region of the Washington State Department of Transportation is missing 25% of their ice and snow employees. That's empty positions like plow drivers and mechanics who make the plows usable. They are trying to fill a total of 65 winter-specific positions. 38 of those 65 positions are open after workers left over the vaccine mandate. WashDOT says they won't be able to fill all the positions before winter hits, which means more snow and ice on our roads.
Our plow operators will be faced with, for example, in a large snow event, is whether they leave, let's say, part of I-90 compact snow and ice, versus making it bare and wet and going someplace else and doing some plowing operations.
Now, to help, drivers should slow down around plows and allow them to do their jobs as efficiently as possible. The department is recruiting right now, looking to hire people. Plow drivers need to have a CDL license to be hired, but finding workers to fill the mechanic jobs has actually been the hardest for them recently. They're already down half of their mechanics. Without them, there won't be as many plows on the road as there possibly could be. So take a look here. I actually pulled up the website where these jobs are hosted. Governmentjobs.com is where you can find them. This one here is Highway Maintenance Worker 3 for Colfax, Davenport, Colville area. So you can just scroll down, see all the requirements, and apply right online there. Again, governmentjobs.com in the WashDOT section. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
It's time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
First up, Governor Jay Inslee has chosen State Senator Steve Hobbs to be the next Secretary of State. The governor appointed Hobbs to take over the job being vacated by Republican Kim Wyman, who's taking a job with the Biden administration. The governor says he chose someone who has demonstrated independence, as Hobbs is a Democrat who has voted with Republicans on several occasions.
I think it would be horrible to have a Secretary of State that is too ideologically to the far left or far right to fill this position. And so I think the governor was thinking about just all Washingtonians on both sides of the aisle.
Hobbs is Asian American, and he will be the first person of color to serve as Washington's Secretary of State.
North Idaho's legislative boundary changes could impact the Coeur d'Alene tribe. Our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press reports tribe officials think changes to the boundaries could hurt representation and be vulnerable to legal challenges. A bipartisan commission approved a new map that revised 35 legislative districts last week. The Coeur d'Alene reservation is currently represented by Districts 3 and 5. The change would make the reservation largely represented by District 2. The tribe's legislative director says the reservation prefers the split as the communities align more with their separate areas.
A beloved tradition that was put on hold during the pandemic returned to Gonzaga's campus. That's right, Tent City is back, and once again students can camp out in order to be in line for the best seats in Saturday's home game. Students anxiously waited for a tweet on Wednesday telling them where to get in line to get their tent number, and once that tweet went out, it was a mad dash across campus to grab one of those coveted tent tickets. So students will start camping out on Fridays just so they can secure the best seats when their Zags take on the Texas Longhorns on Saturday.
Looking forward to that game. That's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
We're going back in time as part of Boomtown Week here on KREM 2.
One of the things that we said as we went through the Browns Edition Historic District process was sometimes those big mansions from the 1890s or early 1900s that were broken up as early as the 1920s or 1930s, those are some of the most affordable housing units that we have in Spokane. And so by doing something like a district protection, we're actually protecting affordable housing.
Coming up, I'm taking a look at the impact historic homes are having on housing in our area.